Welcome to From the Shed End, episode 167. From the Shed End. Theo, how you doing, first of all?
I'm good, yeah. First time recording since we became champions of the world last
Yeah.
weekend and going through an awful hangover right now. So I really hope whatever I say in this mic makes sense because my brain's not really functioning this afternoon. But no, I'm doing good. Friday afternoon, looking forward to the weekend. Really enjoyed last week's game. Can finally say that we're champions of the world for the next 4 years, which is a massive accolade and achievement. So yeah, definitely going to be enjoying the summer now. How are you doing?
I'm good, champions of the world and all of that stuff. So, no, I'm good. I'm good, like you, just sort of on a personal side, gearing up for the school summer holiday. So, if you're a father out there, I'm sure you'll feel my pain for the next 6 weeks of children causing mayhem in your houses. But no, it's good. It's good that we're Club World Cup champions as always. Before we get involved in this episode, if you're on YouTube or if you're on the audio, Spotify, Apple Podcast version of the pod, please make sure you subscribe. We are on the road to 1,000. I can't believe I'm saying this. 1,000 subscribers. If we can get there before the start of the season, that would be a brilliant achievement for us. And also make sure you hit the Linktree link for the Instagram and all the other social accounts as well in the description. But Club World Cup champions PSG went home early. It looks like they didn't bother turning up in New York. But what a performance! I mean, where do we start? What do we start on? Where's the best place for us to start with the way we started the game and how we ended the game?
Yeah, I just feel like we should start maybe with our expectations because I think in
Mm,
the previous recording we both mentioned we didn't expect to get to the final. I
yeah,
think so. We didn't really expect to get a result. I think we both had PSG to win in our predictions. I think
mm,
you went for 2-0. I went for 3-2 to Paris. Um, but yeah, it was just an absolute Enzo Maresca master plan that was perfectly tactically executed. I felt we just were kind of like better than PSG in all kind of areas of the pitch. Cole Palmer was the standout performer, scoring in the 22nd minute, and then another one in the 30th minute. Then later assisting João Pedro's 43rd minute goal. So that first half, it was just like one of those games where you just felt like pinching yourself, like, expecting to wake up because you couldn't really process what was happening and how good we were playing. And we were playing against the same Paris team that beat Inter Milan 5-0 in the Champions League final,
hmm,
that beat Atletico Madrid 4-0, that beat Bayern Munich 2-0, and then beat Real Madrid 4-0. So they
yeah,
beat all those massive European giants without conceding a single goal. And throughout the whole Club World Cup, they'd only conceded one goal against Botafogo. So, we're going against a team that were defensively very, very solid. And they just crumbled against us, absolutely crumbled. And I think that became even more apparent like as the game would go on because they started to lose their heads,
mm,
including the manager at full time as well. So
yeah.
I think they're just not used to losing Paris. And I think they went into that game expecting to win. So they were just very, very kind of shocked and confused when it happened. But yeah, what a performance! What a performance! There's so much things. I know you did a live recording midweek. You kind of assessed everything from the trophy lift with Donald Trump to the badge that we're going to be wearing on our kits for the next 4 years.
Mm.
But yeah, it's pleasing. I think I'm seeing a lot of tweets now saying like day 4 of 1,000 whatever amount of days that we're going to be the Club World Cup champions holders. And I think the most beautiful thing is we're now essentially what called the world champions, whereas I think all the other champions have been renamed to intercontinental champions.
Yeah.
So that's a huge achievement, and yeah, to be the Club World Cup champions in this inaugural competition or reformatted competition is a huge achievement. And anyone who says that it's just a glorified preseason tournament
Mm.
that they don't care, but Chelsea, did well, it's mainly because their team wasn't in this tournament or they
Mm.
crashed out early. But trust me, if you're an Arsenal fan, you're a United fan, you're a Tottenham fan, or Liverpool fan, and you're in this tournament, you would care. You would care. I don't expect a few of those teams to ever be in this tournament because you need to win the Champions League to get in there.
Mm.
But yeah, huge achievement and one of those ones where I think we'll be rewatching the highlights for many days to come.
Yeah, I think it was. I agree with you 100%. By the way, I think it was one of those games that I kind of expect. We were underdogs. We knew that we were going to go into it underdogs just based on how PSG season went, how our season went. But on the day, and I remember saying, I think I said this before in our last episode. Anything can happen in the final.
Mm,
Who wants it more on the day? who wants to be the one that lifts the trophy alongside Donald Trump at the end? It was going to be us. But I do think I said in the live stream in a week, I do think we have to give a massive shout out to Robert Sanchez,
Yeah,
because I think he gets a lot of stick from us as Chelsea fans. Sometimes rightfully, sometimes he, we're a bit, maybe a bit critical. But for him to pull out what I would say is arguably his best game in a Chelsea shirt, he was amazing. He was brilliant. What did you make of Sanchez and just the performance really from him?
I think probably his best performance since he joined Chelsea, and it was a huge what a game to also pull out that kind of 10 out of 10 performance. It was like a series of saves. I think the pick of the bunch was that one from almost point blank range where he just manages to get a right hand on it and kind of like tip it away. So yeah, what achievement from Sanchez. And I think he got the Golden Glove in the end for being the best goalkeeper of the tournament. Big shout out to Cucurella as well, because I think
Yeah.
before we scored the first goal, there was a moment where he just manages to intercept, I think, a pass that
Yes.
was being squared. I think was it. I think Doué to whoever, someone else.
Yeah.
So I think if that goes in, it's a completely different game. And then we just were able to play our football. For Gusto was fantastic as well.
Yeah.
As well. And going back to Sanchez, not just his saves, but his distribution. Like
Yeah.
twice, I think he just put these like really accurate passes to Gusto on the right wing, who then I think one of them led to the goals as well. So yeah, Sanchez, Palmer, Gusto, Cucurella. I mean, the whole team actually. I can praise all of them. Caicedo as well,
Mm.
bearing in mind that he had that nasty ankle injury
Yeah.
against Fluminense. You wouldn't have thought he picked up an injury and probably missed a few days of training, because he was immense as always. And even the players who came off the bench had that instant impact. Liam Delap very unlucky not to score for both his chances. The first one was a fantastic Donnarumma save, and actually the second one's probably a really good Donnarumma save as well.
Mm.
So yeah, I feel like that's the type of performance that makes you realise now, if we can pull off performances like that on the big stage, there's a chance this Chelsea team goes very far in the Champions League next season.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with that. I think well, I want to ask you this because I just did a podcast earlier and I was thinking, and I was asked this question, and I asked the panel the question: what is your expectation? We've won Conference League, we got top four last season, we've gone on to win the Club World Cup. Some people are saying we had a really easy route, but I don't think we did. And also, you played the teams that are in front of you, but we won the Club World Cup. What are your expectations? And I think I asked you this last week, but that was before we won the Club World Cup. I don't know if they've
Mm.
changed. I feel like we should be and realistically challenging now for that Premier League. And I don't mean finishing third, or I mean actually going toe to toe with Liverpool or Man City.
Yeah, I feel like let's not forget we came close last season, but at Christmas we were still in the title race,
Hmm.
and then it just crumbled from that
Yeah.
December period onwards. I'd agree with what you said. I think we need to be going like toe to toe with the likes of Liverpool, Man City this season. I'm going to say a top three is the expectation. Forget four, because I feel like we're better maybe than a lot of the other teams around us. So I would want like a top three finish. I'd want
Mm.
a good run in the Champions League, at least the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
And I also want silverware again next season. So I want one of the domestic cups, the League Cup or the FA Cup. We've come so close in the last few seasons and just crumbled in the final hurdle.
Mm.
So I want us to win at least a domestic cup as well, and kind of celebrate with some silverware at the end of the next season.
I feel like Maresca, and I said this in the live stream, I feel like Maresca has got the team clicking very, very well. I think
Mm,
he's and we have to remember this is without the full complement of players that we know we're going to have, for the summer. Hopefully coming up if they don't go out on loan. Um, we have got a very, very good squad now. There's still
we do.
gaps. We know we need backup for Cucurella. We know that Petrovic unfortunately has been sold to Bournemouth, 25 million. But we've got a very good squad and we've got a good spine. I know we spoke about having a good spine and having good players in the midfield. We've probably got one of the best midfields in the world right now, and that's not me being exaggerating. I think we actually have one of the best midfields in the world. We should be pushing for the league. We should be pushing, like you said,
Mm,
domestic trophy. I think we should be going far in the Champions League. Question I've got to ask you, and I remember asking you this before, maybe just before we won the Conference League, and I think we both said that Maresca was the man that would take us through to the Champions League after the Conference League. But do you think there's a lot more trust from the fans now that he's done what he's done in a short space of time as Chelsea manager for him to go on for the season?
100%. 100%. I feel like he's earned the respect and the trust now of a lot of fans. The players as well seem to
Yeah.
really be clicking under his playing style, like you mentioned. And what I love with Maresca is I think before the PSG game, I think there was a certain interviewer that asked him, how do you expect to play given you're probably not going to get a lot of the ball and it's going to be Paris playing, with the most of the possession. And then Maresca almost got angry with the guy and said, like, what makes you think this? Like, and then same thing with Reece James. He kind of came out and said, like, we're going to win very
Mm.
confidently.
Yeah.
I think Levi Colwell as well had a lot of kind of like optimism. And so, yeah, the team just seems to be kind of developing that winner mentality, which I think
Mm.
is something we kind of lacked a lot in the last few years as well. We just seem to always want to settle for maybe a top four finish or maybe
Yeah.
getting into the FA Cup final or the Carabao Cup final. But now it seems like this team is just hungry for silverware. They've had a taste of it with the Conference League and the Club World Cup,
Mm.
and now domestically, hopefully with the FA Cup and the Premier League and potentially as well the League Cup. Those are the next trophies we should be aiming for as well.
Yeah. And we haven't really mentioned them, but the goals that were scored by Cole Palmer and João Pedro, superb, superb
Yeah.
goals. Cole Palmer's almost carbon copy for both his goals. I think it's Marquinhos. He sits down. I think I said on the live stream the other day. There's a player and he almost faints. Fakes the shot first of all. Then he takes a shot. He almost deceives Donnarumma for both of them. I don't. I think where he places the ball as well in the bottom corner of the goal. It's very hard for a keeper of that size of Donnarumma to get down that quickly to save that. I don't think people realize how difficult that is under the pressure. Um, Silence a lot of critics. I think Cole
Mm.
Palmer, not just those goals, but some of the performances he's put in of late. How do you think his season's going to go next season? If he can continue in that vein, of that form.
Yeah. I think we both kind of agree that that kind of like January to end of season kind of dip in form was just a blip because we know the quality that Cole Palmer has. We know as well that he doesn't really seem to feel any pressure.
Hmm.
So he kind of doesn't really kind of let that get to his head. And I think his performances in the Club World Cup are evident of that. So I'm really hoping he starts the next season like he's finished this season as well. I was listening to a John Obi Mikel podcast with Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, and I think Mikel asked him like who's the best finisher in the Premier League, kind of hinting towards like players like Isak, like Haaland. And actually Hasselbank said no, it's Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Because he has this gift, Cole Palmer, of not just like scoring goals, but almost just passing the ball into the net,
Yeah.
which is exactly what he did against PSG. It wasn't just like, getting a ball in the back of the net. It's almost like perfectly placed it with not much
Yeah.
power, just placed it perfectly.
Yeah.
And you have to remember, Donnarumma is one of the best keepers in the world, and he's a bloody giant as well.
Yeah.
And he was at full stretch and couldn't even get a hand to it. So carbon copies of the goals, and then the João Pedro one as well, the little cheeky chip and the pass from Palmer.
The
And we've seen
celebration
that.
as well.
Yeah, the little samba dance. I like that. And even before Palmer's first goal, there was that little link-up play with Palmer and João Pedro, where we
Mm.
all thought it was a goal because it was a bit misleading how the ball went behind the net.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're just seeing glimpses of that now. There's kind of like João Pedro, Cole Palmer kind of passing. I think if you throw Gittins, Estevao, Pedro Neto into the mix, we've got a really strong attacking squad as well, not just in midfield, but also attack.
Mm. Did you mention Nicholas Jackson then? I don't think you did.
I didn't know.
On to our next topic very quickly. Nicholas Jackson apparently is going to be linked, I think, with a lot of clubs over the next couple of weeks or so before the window shuts on the 1st of September. But Manchester United are the latest team to show interest in Nicholas Jackson. I said, I think in the week, I said before, I think his days are numbered now. I think you look at the likes of João Pedro, who hasn't even seen Cobham yet, and he's scoring goals for fun, in the Club World Cup. Liam Delap, I think, is we brought him in for a reason, for the fee that we've paid for him. So I do think Nicholas Jackson's days are numbered, and I think it's a shame because I think he could go to another club and actually perform really, really well. I think he's actually a good enough player to go to United and outplay Hoyland, outplay Zirkzee.
Mhm.
Would it be a massive loss if we lose him? Are
No,
we are we
I don't think
strength
it would.
are
I
we
think
strengthening a
no.
rival? Maybe that's the better question. Do we strengthen a rival? Because United they're 15th last season, fair enough, but they are still a rival in terms of the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I think we would be strengthening United because I do think he's better than the players you listed, the Hoyland, Zirkzee, and would probably be the starter for them if they don't sign anyone else. Now that they've probably most definitely missed out on Gyökeres as well.
Yeah.
I do kind of agree as well. I think his days at Chelsea are numbered. He's probably third choice now behind Delap and
Could be
behind
could be
João
fourth.
Pedro. Could even be fourth with Esteval and Kunku, who can also play sometimes as a
Mark
nine.
Gui, if he
Um,
stays.
Mark Gui, I forgot about him. Yeah, and I think it's even more evident the fact that he didn't even get on the pitch. He didn't start,
Mm.
only he was only there when there was that big brawl at the end, and that's when he kind of made an appearance. Of course he did. Yeah, that's what he does
Yeah.
best for Chelsea, just getting in
Oh,
people's
he
faces.
was in his element, wasn't he? He was like Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
He loved it.
It kind of, yeah, I wish there should have been like a camera or GoPro on Jackson to see how quickly he got out of the dugout as soon as things kicked off. Um,
Uh,
but yeah, I think he's maybe will kind of stick around for Chelsea maybe until January or another season.
mm,
But I
yeah.
think I can't see him really, especially given the money we spent on João Pedro and the lap. I can't see him actually coming back into the squad and starting big games. Like, should we play Bayern Munich or PSG in the Champions
Yeah.
League? Who do you want leading the line? You probably much rather a Delap or a João Pedro than a Jackson.
Mm, yeah. I'd have to agree. I think his days are numbered. I think it'd be, like I said, I think it'd be a shame to let him go to, especially a club in England. I think if we was going to sell him, I'd rather it be at AC Milan or
Mm,
a team in Germany. I just don't like this idea of strengthening teams that theoretically are going to be competing for the same. United are going to be competing for top four. They're going to be in the FA Cup, League Cup, just like we are. And I think if you strengthen a team, there's situations where obviously you look at the other end, like we spoke about last week with Nani Madweki. I don't think that's going to affect us in any way, shape, or form. But I do think with Nicholas Jackson, there is something in there that tells me there is a player that if you can unlock what he's got in
mm,
terms of potential, I think you get yourself a decent player.
100%. We always said it, like he's a good player, but just not good enough to be first choice at
Yeah,
Chelsea.
yeah,
And I think he's also being linked to Aston Villa. I think I saw yesterday, who I think he would have worked with Emre maybe at Villarreal if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
So yeah, again strengthening a rival. So I agree with you. I'd much rather see him go to an AC Milan or abroad somewhere, even if
mm,
it's a loan perhaps. But we know what we're both on the same page as with loans nowadays. It's like
yeah.
you get sent out on loan. There's a very slim chance you come back to Chelsea and get back into the first team. All those players we loaned in January are now in that bomb squad back at Cobham looking
Yeah.
for new clubs with their agents. So yeah, I probably would much rather we sell him than loan him if we're honest.
Mm. Whilst we were lifting the Club World Cup, someone somewhere was signing off the finalization, the approvals of the OVO Chelsea collaboration. I did do it on the live stream. I mean, you broke the news to me on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever I did the live Tuesday when I did the live stream, and I mean, I don't really go on social media that much. I haven't really been on for the last couple of weeks, but I couldn't believe it. And then even to add to that, the price. I mean, the jacket, the sort of like the jacket that's almost like a, like a, I don't know what you want to call it, a varsity jacket is what they call them. Um,
Yeah,
700 and something pounds. I mean, what's your thoughts first of all on the collaboration? This is clearly an American driven collaboration between
yeah.
OVO, who is obviously Drake's sort of fashion label he's got under his umbrella alongside his music, and Chelsea. Again, you've got the likes of Central C, who they're trying to sort of euphanize. Is that the right word? Um, it's not the right word. Make the team more youthful. Um, in
Mm.
terms of, it's been a long day. They're trying to make the team a lot more youthful in terms of the fan base and the attraction of supporting Chelsea. So, do you think that's what it is? Just almost like a marketing tool to bring in the younger fans, which clearly Chelsea have got a lot more of over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I feel you've hit the nail on the head there. It just seems like you said you were shocked, but I'm actually not that shocked
Mm.
because I think that's the direction, unfortunately, that football's heading in now. It's kind of like not just what happens on the 90 minutes on the pitch, but also all these kind of merch you can sell outside the pitch, all these sponsorship deals, partnerships. And if you look at all of these kind of kit launch videos now, it's not so much about the kit; it's more how you kind of market the shirt or how
Yeah,
you get that shirt and make it appealing for people to buy. I think I love the recent video of the kind of nostalgia with Madness and all that.
yeah,
Um, but for me, this OVO collaboration, I mean, I'll be saving my money because I'm not going to buy any of it at those prices. And also, even had you paid me £700 to wear it, I wouldn't because it doesn't
yeah,
really suit what I like to wear. It's not my
yeah.
style.
It's horrible.
I don't think I know a single Chelsea fan who would buy something like that, if I'm honest. But yeah, that's just the unfortunate direction football's heading in, kind of like getting involved in these kind of like fashion labels or
Mm.
music collaborations. And like you you said, which is spot on. It's just almost like trying to make it more trendy and cool to appeal to not just football fans, but just anyone kind of around the world, and especially big kind of goal, which seems to be what Bowley and Egbali are doing, is appealing to an American audience, which has become really evident with what's happened at Stamford Bridge and around Stamford Bridge. Baseball tees as well are being sold, like snapbacks with Chelsea logo on
Yeah.
it. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I was really not shocked when I saw it. But I'm also happy that I'm not going to be spending my money on that. I'm not going to lie, that I am very tempted by one of the kits with the badge on it, the gold badge. Um, I'm waiting for the third kit. I'll see
Okay.
what that's like.
I thought you meant like the
Um,
OVO. You mean like the original that are 25-26 season kits with the
yeah,
OVO
yeah,
Cup badge?
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to be getting any of the OVO stuff, but yeah,
I,
but
I, I
yeah,
mean, I still like the away kit that we've currently got at the moment.
yeah,
Obviously, like this season, I think that just looks really nice. The lettering, I think
yeah.
the numbering looks really good. It just complements each other. I know you're a big fan of the third kit that's due to launch soon as well. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I think with the OVO stuff, I think you're right. You know, it's just definitely a marketing thing. It's more how much money can we get in. We might see someone in an OVO t-shirt in the new Weatherspoons that is a stone's throw away from Stamford Bridge before kickoff this season coming up. But I said on Wednesday, I don't really knock. You know, I still have my reservations around the ownership and how they deal with and manage the club and what they're trying to do. But if you look at the things that are happening on the pitch, and I'll be honest, I think whilst you're winning trophies and you're Club World Cup champions and you're hopefully going to win and have a really successful season coming up, I don't think it's shamefully and embarrassingly, and I'd have to admit this myself, I don't think many people care what happens off the field, if that makes sense. I don't think people, it's not as
Mm.
highlighted. There won't be protest if we would go and win the Premier League next season. We'll kind of let the OVO collaboration slide by and just let it happen if we're winning. I think when you're not winning, it heightens other things that are happening at the club a little bit. So maybe I'm a hypocrite of that myself, but I definitely think that there's a lot of positives that could come out of those kind of collaborations. But I just don't see. For me, it's not for me. I think I just don't see it.
Mm. No, no, I agree. But yeah, I kind of feel like it's something that maybe would have been like going on a rant on Twitter about had we actually lost the Club World Cup or we had a really
Yeah.
bad season. But given actually the circumstances, we'll just let this one slip probably.
Well, that's a prime example. You know, we won it,
Mm.
and I didn't even know because
Yeah, yeah.
I was too happy about the fact we won the Club World Cup. So I was like, when you said it, I thought you was joking. I thought, oh, okay. And then I thought maybe because OVO looks it resembles a particular badge. I said it on Wednesday or
Yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah, the
Sorry,
owl. Yeah.
the owl. I mean, and on the football as well. I mean, someone signed that off at Chelsea. Someone's actually signed that design off. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Haven't got a clue what's going on. But look, new season's approaching. We're still in the market for new players by the looks of it. The latest player we've been linked with is Crystal Palace Eze, Erebeche Eze, Crystal Palace. I've got a question for you. Are we about to lose Big Trev in a swap deal
Mm.
plus cash for Eze?
I mean, he's being linked to Napoli as well. I think that's the other club that seemed to want his signature.
Hmm.
But I think recently it seems to be saying that Chelsea are happy with him and they're not looking to sell him,
Hmm.
but they're not ruling it out completely. And I've always said it. I think there could be a possibility of him going back to Crystal Palace if it means Eze or maybe even Mark Guehi
Hmm.
coming coming to Chelsea. So yeah, I would never say never to that, but which would be so silly in my opinion because he's the starting centre back. He's forming a really good partnership with Levi Colwill. We know what Fofana's injury record is like, and if we were to sell Chalobah, probably mean we were looking to buy another centre back. So I don't see why we should buy someone else when we've got a perfectly good kind of centre back who's cemented himself into the lineup and homegrown academy boy as well. Yeah, and also Eze, as good as a player he is, that's not a position we need to be strengthening in right now,
I was going to
in
ask
my
you
opinion.
where does he fit into the sort of hierarchy of expectation of game time next season? Because
Yeah,
we've got so many players. We've got players that haven't even, Estevao hasn't come in yet. Um, you know,
Giovanni Quenda as well. We haven't
Quenda, I
spoken
forgot
about
about
him.
him.
Yeah, right winger, and he can play right wing back as well. He's going to be coming in next summer. Sporting actually just gave him the number 7 for this
7, yeah, I've
season,
seen that.
with Cristiano Ronaldo 7, which is quite a big thing.
It's iconic.
Um, yeah, but yeah, Quenda, Estevao,
Yeah, got a few.
Kendry Paez as well, who's a bit more of a midfielder. There's a lot of players that are going to come
Yeah,
in, and I just don't see where Eze would get the minutes. Or if he
mm.
does get the minutes, it probably means less game time for someone like Neto or even Gittins, who just signed as well. So yeah, I'm a bit confused by that move personally.
I think if we do sign Eze, I think that's the end of Tweet George this season.
Yeah, yeah,
I think he goes. I generally would not rule out a permanent move. I think that the fact that, and I think I said this on Tuesday, I think the fact that they're both kind of being pushed into the limelight a little bit more, they're in the senior team, the men's team, they're in the main dressing room now. I just think could be an ulterior motive for that. And maybe that's
mm,
because they want to showcase what they can do. They've played in the Conference League, they've had minutes in the Premier League, they've done very, very well. And I just think it's just the owner's way of saying, look, we've got some shiny new talent that needs a new club and we want to try and cash in. And do they use some of that money to then go and get Eze? I don't know. Do they use Trevor Chalobah as a you know a, a swap deal plus cash for Eze? You just don't know.
yeah. I know as well. We were looking to do a lot of our transfer business before the Club World Cup, or clearly during the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've finalised everything we want to do. I know the next player that I think, or we should try to get as a left back, and I think
It's
we're
not.
being linked to Jarell Hato from Ajax, which I think we do need a left back, or we do need someone who can play left back for the kind of games where we give Cucurella candy to me right now. But I would love to
Mm,
see Cucurella's minutes in the last season at Chelsea, because I think he's almost played like every minute of every single game at times.
yeah.
If he hasn't, maybe it's been Gusto at left back, which hasn't been like an experiment that's always worked.
Mm,
So yeah, I think I wouldn't be against the left back, but I think once we get ourselves a backup left back, I'm quite happy with the squad as it is.
mm.
We've got
I
so
am.
many
I
bodies
am.
in midfield with like Isugo, Mamadou Sarr as well, another
I
centre
know. I
back to
forgot
come in
about
this
him on
summer.
Tuesday. I forgot he was there.
Yeah,
I forgot Mamadou Sarr.
yeah, and
Um.
clearly as well, like the goalkeeper situation seems a bit more certain. It's going to be Sanchez next season.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mm. I'd hate to see Trev go. I think he's
mm,
solid, and I think I take one thing as well. I think Tosin. We have to credit
yeah,
Tosin for the Club World Cup, not just for the Club World Cup, but more so because I feel like he's been like, it's going to sound weird, but he's been like the father figure to the centre backs this season. The most experienced, mature head on his shoulders. Even after the game, I think I said on Tuesday, even after the game, seeing the sort of the melee of people just sort of going crazy after the game. He was one of the first in there to try and resolve and calm things down. And I think you need someone like that in the team. You need someone who's going to be able to just be commanding calm, but also has that other side to them where they can step up and defend some of the younger players in the team. And I think that's him. I think he's a solid defender, but I think Trevor Chalobah will learn so much from someone like that. Someone who
mm,
like a Thiago, not comparing the two, but the experience that Thiago Silva gave you off the field. I feel like Tosin's giving us a pinch of that, an element of that
yeah.
as well off the field.
Completely honest, when Bettinelli left, a lot of Chelsea players, or maybe it's kind of evident that he was a big figure in the dressing room,
Yeah.
not just for like, I think he only played the one game for us, but it was more like how he would support the players. He would be a bit of a father figure for
Mm.
the youngsters. I think Tosin's kind of similar to that aspect. He's a brilliant player on the pitch as well. I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of Tosin,
Yeah.
but off the pitch he does so much. And what I love to see after the Fluminense match was Chalobah with Thiago Silva's shirt on.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was nice to see, almost like he was
Yeah.
his idol growing up, and he got to play a couple of seasons with him. But yeah, big fan of Tosin, and I think he's one that definitely should stay. Which I did get a bit scared at one point, seeing we signed him for free. He'd be one that maybe the owners would look to make a profit on.
Yeah.
But no,
This
I think he needs to stay. Um, I think if we do make any changes to our back line, maybe Mamadou Sarr on loan, or potentially Badger Shield to be sold. But other than that, I think we should keep it as it is.
I think Fofana's on borrow time.
Mm,
I do. I think he's this season I think is the big one for him. And we didn't speak about it last week, but I think or maybe we did, I can't remember, but he allows social media to dictate a lot of
yeah,
how he feels. And I think whilst you're injured, you're not playing, you're not contributing, you're on very good wages at Chelsea. Just get your head down. just get yourself back to full fitness, get yourself back in the team, then let your football do the talking as opposed to going online and sporadically responding to tweets and then deleting them. It just doesn't look good for the profile of the player that hasn't really lived up to the hype of joining a club like Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys you tag him in an Instagram story straight away, he views it. So he's clearly listening and watching and reading what people think and say about him.
Mm,
Whereas you got someone like Cole Palmer, I don't think he cares about any noise or whatever what anyone says. So,
mm,
so yeah, I think he could be on borrowed time, but also he's injured at the moment, and I don't think you're going to find a club for him if the player's injured.
mm.
Um, but I would not be surprised if he still stays in the same situation with his fitness issues come next summer.
Yeah,
Maybe he saw we're not going to make a profit on him because we spent a lot of money on him, and I doubt we'll be able to recoup anywhere near. I think the 60 or 70 million
he was close
we
to
paid for him. I
70.
think.
Yeah, close to 70
Yeah.
mil.
So yeah, I still think he's a good player, but just can't keep himself fit, unfortunately.
Mm. Which opens the door for Chalobah, Colwell, Asugo.
Yeah.
There's players in there that can come. Not Asugo, sorry, Mamadou Sarr. You can open the door for some of those players to step up and do what they can do or show what they can do. But yeah, I think he's on borrowed time. But we are champions of the world. No one gave us. We said, I think we said, no one gave us a chance. We didn't give ourselves a chance. Let's be honest. When we first entered it, we knew what our group stage was. When we were told we were going to be part of it, we knew there were going to be difficult teams. One thing I will say, it almost gives us something to work on to go into that Champions League now. Because yes, we were playing teams at the back end of their season still, but yeah, gives us like a springboard to go into that Champions League next season to hopefully carry on that momentum. We've just beaten the champions of Europe in the Club World Cup final. There's no excuses for it.
Yeah. And the latest is Simon Johnson said today that those who competed at the Club World Cup are now be given 3 weeks off, which I
Yeah,
think is well deserved, given they didn't even get a break between the season, the Nations League, and the Club World Cup. However, players like Esteval Willian and Jamie Gittins may report earlier, given their teams were knocked out of the quarterfinals of the Club World Cup.
yeah.
I'm all for this. They deserve a break. they deserve to go to Ibiza, Mykonos,
I
Dubai,
think
LA, wherever they want to
Palmer's in
go.
St. Kitts already.
He is, yeah, and Delap's in LA, I think.
Yeah,
However, what I will say is the season starts in 4 weeks. We're
yeah,
not that far away now from the start of the season, the opener
mm,
against Crystal Palace.
yeah,
So we don't want to lose the momentum we currently have. Don't get me wrong, they need to go on holiday, recover, rest, recharge the batteries.
mm,
But hopefully, come like mid-August, these players are ready to go again. And that's probably why this, more than ever, we need a good squad with depth. Because I wouldn't
yeah,
be surprised if, similarly to last season, guys like maybe Palmer aren't really fit for the first game.
yeah.
So you could maybe be seeing a very rotated 11
Crystal Palace.
against Crystal Palace, perhaps.
Yeah, and I think that's on the Sunday, I think, if I remember correctly. But
Yeah.
I think, no, I agree with it. I think the players need a break. I think we've got a big enough squad. I'm thinking about even like Josh Ashiempong, didn't really kick a ball
Yeah.
there. He didn't get a chance. So I think those would be because those two pre-seasons is by Leverkusen and AC Milan.
Yes.
They're pretty back to
Beginning of
back.
August.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they're
I think
pretty
it's
back to back.
Friday and Sunday, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
like they're 2 days apart, aren't they? Yeah.
yeah. So I think if those games are to keep the Gittins and even maybe João Pedro, I know he's played in the final, but he might come back a bit earlier. You don't know.
Well,
Those
he had a
players,
holiday on the beach. He's already had his holiday,
he's
hasn't
had
he?
he got his annual leave in early. His annual leave was already authorized, but I think those sort of players you want to see in those preseason games, and then you'd maybe like to think there might be maybe a behind the closed door game, something a bit more for the rest of the squad just to get them back up to that fitness ready for the Palace game. But look, these lads have been playing pretty much solidly for the whole of last season, the whole of the Club World Cup, and 3 weeks in when you think about it is actually nothing when how much they're playing throughout a year. So credit to them, massive credit to them.
Yeah. I saw a funny thing. It was Pedro Neto's arms must be tired because I think within a month he lifted the Conference League, the Nations League,
Yeah,
and the Club World Cup. And that Club World Cup trophy was bloody massive as well.
it
It looked
looked
quite
heavy.
yeah. I think James and Palmer obviously very confused when he lifted it with Trump alongside them. Um, that should be a podcast on itself.
It
The
will be a podcast on
celebrations.
itself. I think it's funny because I
Um,
was saying to my mate, Samsung and iPhone have got the magic eraser now, haven't they? Where you can,
yes.
there'll be loads of people doing that, just like magically erasing
Yeah.
them out.
Literally, there will. I know we're getting to the end of the episode, but if you guys do one thing after today's episode is make sure to watch our Chelsea Legend series
Yeah.
on YouTube. Some
Yeah.
really good episodes. I know you're working very hard on editing them and putting all the audio together, but if you have listened to them, I'm not sure, but I'm learning so much about all of these past players,
Same.
things I didn't know about. So yeah, definitely give those a watch. I think today is Wayne Bridge, if I'm not mistaken. That's the latest
Bridge.
episode, and the one I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to tomorrow is Diego Costa as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We've got some
definitely
good ones. We've got
give
some
those
good
a
ones
watch.
coming up. Some really good ones coming
Yeah,
up. I think I don't want to spoil who's coming up, but yeah, there's a couple of decent ones. And like you said yesterday, before we wrap up, there's so many players that we could have picked for the days that we've done
yeah,
already that we just, not that we didn't think about them, but there was just so many to choose from, and you could only pick one a day. So yeah, I mean, it shows how good we've had it at times and how bad we've had it at times, and how we've gone through, a massive roller coaster as fans.
definitely. Yeah, I think so many players to pick from. I think when we had number 6, we did Desai, but looking back, we could have maybe done Thiago Silva.
Yeah.
We missed out on guys like Ramirez, Ian Robben. So there's so many players we could have definitely done like separate episodes for as well.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll do like a condensed, like, I don't know, episode one day where we'll just go through
Yeah,
all the players that we didn't get to do and look at their journeys. Maybe we'll do that one day. But definitely check it out. It's
yeah,
something that we're proud of as a podcast. Definitely to be pulling that together. And like I said, on Tuesday, over to the Instagram account, we're close to 20,000, I think, on there. So make sure you head over there. Again, Twitter, where it's called now X. We're now on Twitch. We're streaming on Twitch. I can see there's people from on Twitch watching us as well. So if you're on Twitch, make sure you follow us on there as well. Theo, as always, thank you very much. Pleasure as always. These Friday podcasts keep
thank
me
you.
going.
One thing I'm going to finish with is underdogs in Munich, underdogs in Porto, underdogs in at the Club World Cup final. There we go. So like Chelsea just love to kind of
Be
achieve
the
these results
underdogs.
when we're always the underdogs. Yeah.
Apart from the one time in Baku where we were definitely not the underdogs, and we proved we were.
No.
And on
True.
that note, enjoy the weekend. We'll be back soon. Thanks for listening.